Hi, this is Chris Mosher from the Fan Film Podcast. Welcome. Hey, we're on episode 48. We're going to put that on June 6th, 2009.
I held the curtain for you, Spider-Man. I wouldn't want you to miss the show.
King, and he did a great Batman fan film called Dead End. No, I'm just kidding. This is
what? You got me on that one. For editing.
This is for
Star Wars fan film.
Yeah, that's good. That Doctor Who fan film was fantastic.
Yes.
We are speaking with Mr. Roger King again about his fan film Peter's Web. Unfortunately, the first interview that we had with him is all my fault. My hard drive crapped the bed. A couple days after the initial interview, so Roger was so kind to agree to come back onto this insanity once again and answer the same questions he answered before.
Oh, yes.
Yay.
Sounds good.
What's your...
People want to know, man. The people want to know.
Right. So his film is Peter's Web, his fan film, and it's going to be a 6-part series, right, Roger?
Yeah, 6 parts, all pretty much full length. The only one that's not completely full length will be the second one. It's about 40 minutes, but all the others are about, 60 to 80 minutes long.
Yeah.
Where you going, little girl? You lost? Maybe she's looking for me. Oh, yeah? Who's gonna be? Him or me?
Hey, give her a break, guys. My guess is she can't get over the scent of your breath. 2 words. Tic-tac. Uh-oh. Yeah, proportionate strength, speed, and agility of a spider over here, buddy. So unless you plan on pulling your superpowers out of a hat, I suggest you leave the magic tricks to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Sleep it off, guys. Tell your friends.
This man's been spending a lot of time on the project.
And the first one's been out for about, 2.5 months?
No, it's been a month.
Oh, that's it?
Like, it seems like a long time, but I've been checking the stats. It actually really does, for some weird reason. It's weird. It's gotten about 5,000 hits on my site. Wow. And it's been a month, and that's pretty good. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's a bigger response than I was expecting.
What kind of reaction are you getting?
I'm getting good stuff. Like, everyone seems like fans of the comic book seem pretty pleased as far as like, hey, you actually stuck to some stuff, and I like that you actually gave Spidey like a sense of humor and exactly. You stuck to like, it's almost like you're watching what you would read in a comic book if someone made it from scratch,
Right.
So, I've been getting all positive stuff. Though I've been getting some negative stuff, but those are people that actually are more maybe production people, or all they've ever seen is comic movies on the big screen. So they're just like, what the hell is this? Like, why'd you waste your time doing this? I'm just like, I don't think you get it, man.
Issue 352, Spider-Man would have never done that, for he doesn't have his special powers.
Yeah.
Are you talking necessarily...
Like shop guy in for The Simpsons?
I must hurry back to my comic book store, where I dispense the insults rather than absorb them.
Are you talking to comic nerds, or are you talking just people outside the realm of geekdom?
Well, I've been talking to mainly comic people.
Yeah.
But it's just the people, it's more like they might be into comic movies, but it's comic big movies. They don't seem to really know like where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So those people kind of see it and they're like, well, I don't understand. Why'd you try to do this? Like, and you don't have a studio, and I don't know. They don't really see the magic in what I tried to bring out.
Why did Dan Pohl try to do it? Same reason.
Yeah, same thing. Actually, I think last time we talked, I talked to you about trying to get in contact with them, and I am in contact with them now.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, we touched base, and we're going to meet up at Comic-Con.
Awesome.
Next
You
month.
go to San Diego?
Yep.
Oh, you lucky bastard. I want to go so bad.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, good for you, man. You'll be there for me in spirit.
Yes.
Just drink a lot and be fat. And you'll be,
That should be a dead-on invitation.
Come on, you do that in New York.
Oh, I tell you, baby, nobody does it like me. Yes. All right, Roger. Let's kind of start at the top, bare bones kind of a question. You said you had no prior filmmaking experience prior to this movie. Is that correct?
That's correct. None at all. Nothing.
So
not even filming.
Think, you know what?
Huh?
I've got no, directing skills. I've got no, production or editing skills. What made you think, you know what? I could maybe do this. What made you think that?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. When I started doing it, it was originally supposed to be a 5-minute thing. I was going to just throw on YouTube, maybe just see Spidey on a building standing there, and I wasn't too serious about it, but I did know I was going to do it, like, no matter what. I was going to make it happen. And it just kept developing and developing and developing, and I kept getting more scenes and actually finding people that looked like people I would actually cast if I was in charge of something. I was like, hey, do you want to be this or do you want to be that? That's a lot of things like that go. That's how I do things. Though. It's like if I like write a song, because I'm also a songwriter and a singer.
Oh, cool.
I'll write a song, and then that will become within 4 months an actual band, and then we'll put out a record, and then we'll go on tour, and it never. I always kind of had a hand on things, and this is just another project.
You don't mess around, as they say. You get down to business, apparently.
Yes.
Well, that's a very good thing. If you want to be successful in the entertainment industry, you really got to work your ass off. You got to just hustle. So you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Throw yourself into it.
Yes.
There's a couple openings now after last week in show business. That's a bad thing.
Oh, my God. Oh, let's count them. We got Carradine, Ed McMahon.
Or that infomercial dude.
Yeah, the infomercial
Billy Mays. We're going to count Billy Mays. I don't know. And I think he was going to be what's his name? Craven in your next Spider-Man.
He was going to shave his beard.
You look just like Craven.
Honestly, he kind of did. Now that you mentioned
the hair and everything. You look just like him.
That's Tubby Craven. He always reminded me like that guy from Home Improvement, Al.
Yeah. The partner, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he has the most serious beard ever, like he did, seriously. Yeah. It is black and it is bushy. Like, I was going to have a beard. That's the beard I wanted to have. Like, kind of just like that,
It was all Grizzly Adams there.
Yes. Let's get back to Spider-Man.
Talk about the beginning, if you didn't already, with all the villains that you included. That's what really caught me. I know I told you before. I'm going to keep saying this. I know I told you before, but
exactly the whole.
That's what. I got an email from Roger, and oh Jesus Christ, another fan film from some kid, and anyway, I hit the play, and then all of a sudden, whim bang. Yeah, right off the bat was a bunch of villains that were fighting, Electro, Sandman, Mysterio. It was just cool, and that was really the catch, and I thought this was really going to be something, and it did turn into something really, really cool. Talk about how you put all that together.
I just knew, as a comic fan, what would really grab me. I really filmed a lot of stuff and put the whole movies together as far as what would I want to see that I haven't really seen yet. And so I kind of used the actual motion pictures as a way of maybe the different route to go on things. And I know that, every first movie always starts out kind of slow. And I was like, well, if I just do that, some people might turn it off before action even starts.
Right.
Because they're going to be like, well, this is a remake. Done, never look at it again. But I figure if I put in a little preview almost of what's to come and then go back to... Peter Parker is a 15-year-old kid hiding in a restroom stall, for Flash Thompson to come and torment. Like, I knew that would grab people right off the bat. Like, in the middle of the battle, not Spidey showing up and then all of a sudden the battle starting. Like, middle of the battle, Spidey's pretty thrashed up. He's dodging, Doc Ock's tentacles. Sandman's in there. But I wanted to display a lot of Spidey's skills, also like how he's hopping around. He's very flexible. Definitely the web shooting, jumping around, all that stuff. So I just knew if I put in a Sinister Six fight minus the Vulture, I didn't find the right person for the Vulture, and I wanted to do the Vulture justice. But if I couldn't do it right, that might kill the scene.
Right.
So I went without Vulture. But I thought it might be kind of cool to throw in even having like the Vulture because I really don't know how to make it look like he's flying around in it and not look cheesy. So I figured maybe have the Vulture holding Mary Jane, like with his wings, like holding her back and her screaming, Peter! So just to give like a what the hell is this, But I just couldn't find the right guy.
You couldn't find Jean-Luc Picard.
I could not. That would have been perfect
at the right time.
But yeah, but I just think that's what I mean. I spent just seeing Mysterio and making Mysterio think that Spidey is envisioning like the black Spider-Man suit and like just all kinds of stuff going to Hobgoblin. And then I knew that once it went back to calmness and he's just the kid again, all the fans are going to think there's going to be a lot of crap that goes down during the series because from what I understand, there's supposed to be 6 movies. There's going to be a lot of stuff going down in these 6 movies. I'm going to keep checking it out. So I just knew that would be a great grabber, and that's what I would really have wanted to see, the Sinister Six.
So grab him by the balls right away. Let him know.
Yes.
What do you have? What's in store for the series, for these movies?
Well,
so you definitely did all the right thing. And I love the way that the masks are kind of almost like Hobgoblin and Green Goblin. They're almost kind of like organic looking, the masks.
Yeah.
It could be part of his face, but then again, it could be just like a mask. You never know what it could be. It's better than that, as I said last time, it's better than that fucking suit of armor that they put on Willem Dafoe.
Can Spider-Man come out to play?
It's such a waste because that guy has such a creepy face.
Mm-hmm.
All he had to do was do a little makeup application to him, and he would have looked insanely evil.
Yeah.
It would have been, like, scary. He would have blown Heath Ledger out of the fucking water.
Yeah.
If they did their fucking job right.
Yeah.
But no, what's more convenient? Let's put the fucking suit of armor on the Green Goblin. Guess who didn't read comics as they were kids? You fuckers!
I'm glad you caught that, though, because that's what I want. I wanted it because, on the scene when I'm fighting Norman as the Goblin, and then he reveals himself to me like he did in the comic, when he takes off the mask, and then you see his real face, it's just, I like that, how, like you said, it could be a mask, but it looks like organic, like it's part of his mouth, but then it's really a full mask. It just leaves that whole, like, imagination part up to play, and, like, that whole magic thing, like, whoa, I don't know. Once I thought of that, I was like, I want to try and pull that off. And when I did, I was really happy with the outcome.
It was definitely all worth this. Just watching the film, you can see the passion, you can see the love of the character, the respect of the lineage and the history of Spider-Man is all there. So, getting back to kind of a topic we kind of brushed on for a second before. When was it the first time you saw Green Goblin's Last Stand by Dan Poole, and what did you think the first time you saw that movie?
The first time I saw that movie, I was blown away, and I didn't see it that long ago. Honestly, I've been collecting comics for I don't know, I'm 30 years old. I just turned 30 a couple weeks ago. I've been collecting comics. You're a youngster, man.
You're a youngster, right? He's a young man.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been collecting these things, and then I just thought I've been producing this thing for a year and a half, 2 years, so probably maybe a year before I started, or maybe even 6 months. And I was like I said, I move on things. Right when I want something, I'm just like, boom, that's what I want to do. And I saw it, I was blown away, and I thought, I don't know, it just motivated me. This is a normal guy, and he made this movie, from what I understand, with very little money, not much help, and it was a major struggle because he said he basically begged people to help him because it was so important to him. And I just thought, you know what? That's what I've always wanted to do. I've always identified with Spider-Man. I feel like I could pull it off, at least something. And so, yeah, that's my answer to that one. I was blown away. I really like Dan Poole and what he's done with that movie, and he's going to send me a copy of the making of. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, I actually got it downstairs.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I've been trying to find it on the internet, but he says he's going to give me a copy, so I'm really excited to see that.
You will probably have a lot in common with him, trust me.
Cool.
Guerrilla filmmaking. Definitely guerrilla filmmaking at its best.
Yeah, and then have you guys seen his preview for his Photon Effect movie? That looks pretty sweet. Yeah, I saw the preview. I haven't seen the actual movie. I don't know if he's done with it yet, but...
Well, I had a panel with him at a comic convention, and he actually showed that the Photon project, kind of like a brief clip of it. And it looked really, really cool. It looked like good superhero stuff that would keep you interested. So, he's keeping it going.
Yeah, I told him, too, I'd love to work with you in the future. And he said, yeah, you know what? He actually said that I kind of remind him of him. Yeah. So it's just like, I think we work great together. I told him, if you ever want to do something in the future, I'll come to Baltimore.
Right.
Do what we got to do.
You should also mention that Roger plays Peter Parker in the film.
Yep.
And he's full of pumpitude in the film there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, did you do the film because you wanted to play Peter, were you your first choice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aunt May! Aunt May!
I'm here, Peter. What's all the commotion?
Here, I need you to sign this.
Sign what, dear?
It's a permission slip for the field trip to the science exhibit. I told you about it.
Well, I see no harm in a student field trip.
Yes! I need a pen.
Peter, don't hyperventilate.
Yeah, that was my main motivation, too, because some people are all, yeah, when you direct and make a movie, you really shouldn't try and play such a big character in it because this and that. It's like, yeah, I know that, but the main reason for it is because I know I'm getting older, and I want to be Spider-Man in the movie, man, so...
And this is your play. This is your playtime.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Why the hell not, man? Seriously, these people that are like these naysayers, like,
who do nothing in their life.
And a desire to bring Spider-Man to the screen in any way you can. Hey, if you have enough passion, it's going to show. If you have enough dedication to the project, it's going to show. Budget, appearance, directing style. I mean, your cuts, I'm looking at it right now as we speak. I have it running, and, your directorial skills are excellent. The cutting, the editing, very dramatic shots.
I thought you meant when he was looking at himself in the mirror, those cuts.
No, that's when he was taking the pictures of his cock and balls.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Spider-Man over here. So, I'm telling you, man, it's very, very impressive. That's the bottom line. And it gives you an example of what a dedicated lover of the comic books can actually do with very little to no money that Hollywood can't even fucking do right. Yeah. So it's amazing. I'll say it time and time again. It's just absolutely unfathomable how talented these people are, you included. These people out in the fan film world. They can say, you know what? I could do a better job than that. Or, you know what? I could do that. And I can make it just fantastic. I can make it happen.
Yeah.
So congratulations, man. Because
thank you.
You really pulled it off with this.
Thank you very much.
I was just gripped right away from like Chris was saying earlier, from the fight. It's just like kaboom.
Yeah.
It hits you. And you're just forced to sit there and say, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen? Are they going to kill Spidey? And what's going to happen? And then you get into the story, and it's actually the less. I guess comic book fans would rather see superheroes jumping around and shooting at each other and all that jazz. But you keep the human side of the superhero interesting, the beginning story and the origin, all that. Mm-hmm. You're like, I don't care if he becomes Spider-Man in another 3 hours. I can watch him starting to take on the responsibility and the good morals and you as Peter Parker. I mean, you just you wreck stuff, man. You really you do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I wanted to vent a little bit there.
Thank you.
Now talk about some of your cast there. Why don't you start with Aunt May and Uncle Ben there?
Okay, they're actually a married couple.
Yeah.
I was racking my brain trying to find an Aunt May, and my mom actually was like, "Well, what about our old neighbor?" So I was like, "Well, how am I going to find her?" So she's like, "I'll take care of it." My mom calls me later. She's like, "Hey, I got her. She wants to meet you." So I'm like, "Okay." So I told them about it, and they were blown away. They were like, oh, "We've always wanted to be in a movie." So I'm like, "Let's do it." And I told them about the scenes, and I ran through everything, and they were very cooperative because, filming was so sporadic, It was just like, hey, in an hour, can you be over at this one house? Let me give you the directions. Please be there. I only have 40 minutes before they eat dinner, but I need to use their living room or something, And they'd be like, yeah, we'll be there. They did that the whole time. They ran with my crazy way of just trying to get what I can get done at the moment. And, I think they did a great job.
Yeah, they did. They really did. I look at your Uncle Ben and your Aunt May a lot. Very good choice.
Aunt May, she's on. You see Aunt May throughout the rest of the series, and there's little Uncle Ben flashbacks, but there will be one part in one future movie where I actually have a dream where I awake and I'm Uncle Ben speaking to me, and I'm having a conversation with him. That's a pretty cool scene. That's going to be one of the future scenes. So that's one of his last scenes since he gets killed off so soon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be a pretty powerful scene. It should be pretty good.
He's a deep cat, man.
Yeah.
He's a deep guy.
Yeah, he is.
Spider-Man gets all of his kind of go out there and be a do-gooder, but at the same time, makes the wrongs right. He gets all those values from his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And from Aunt May, he's a very positive person in general.
Yeah.
But to get that to kind of like again to the bare bones of things, I didn't ask you before the webs, the shooting of the web. How did you pull that off?
Okay, I had a little piece of Velcro on the end, on the. You'll probably see if you really look for it. I never took the Velcro off the suit. It was part of the suit on the wrists.
Right.
And so if you really try to look on like parts where I'm just standing there or doing something else, you'll see a little square of Velcro on my inside wrist. And I attached that to basically like a white string, shoestring type thing. I would just have the person, whoever I had helping me, wiggle that for a little while.
Wiggle it just a little bit. I want to see you wiggle it just a little bit.
And then we would do a 3 count, and then they would pull it off, and then I would bring my wrist and my hand down. So then when I reversed it, add a little speed, add a little blur, pow, I'm shooting web. And because the wiggling gave that whole silly string effect that it's coming out kind of wild and like really explosive. And so that was it, man. It's pretty simple. It was hard to find that answer for it, but once I got it, it was just great. It was routine from there.
I mean, I think if I remember right, Danpo used like string, but he pulled it off. It was kind of like the old '70s Spider-Man show, which I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah,
and you get the web comes out and it's playing. As he's swinging around and gangsters with lamb chop sideburns and. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
That. And then what else did I do for a web thing? I use different things. You'll see in the upcoming films, too, I do some other... I always try to keep something kind of fresh with each aspect of what I do. Like, if it's a swinging scene, there's some different stuff in the upcoming one. And, like, some of them I'll shoot, like, web ball things that get in people's eyes. And it's all kinds of different stuff. I always try to make something more so it doesn't get too routine, Mm-hmm. Just like minor things, like I might shoot like a web net, and then there's like a net that might bounce like, the Hobgoblin's bomb back towards him. I do something like that. There's all kinds of cool stuff I do with those webs, man.
So thinking so like in the comics, you can practically do anything, You can
that's really exactly what I try to do.
So I noticed somewhere you said that this film is your vision of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What exactly is your vision? Can you give a description of that? A brief description.
Well, it is kind of hard to describe. It's more what I really carried from reading all the comics. So everything of importance, I mean, all the stuff's important just because it's like we read them all the time and we always want to know what's going to happen. Even if it's a storyline we don't like, we're still going to probably read it just to keep the up and up. But it's just all the memorable parts from all the comics I've read all kind of collided into 6 movies. It's just what I can really see happening. And when I say my vision, too, it's like I don't see... I guess I use it from, like, the perspective aspect as well, like how I place the camera in certain things. Like, when I read these comics, I see the way, like, the Marvel way to draw and, like, how they do different angles and really close... You know what I mean? It's just kind of different type of angles, and I wanted the movie to be like that because that's what I see in my head based on the pictures I look at when I'm reading the comics.
Right.
And so I wanted the movie to be like that. So I guess I don't necessarily mean it's my vision, but I could see it as a common ground vision of Spider-Man readers.
Yeah, maybe how you were influenced by, the various writers and artists over the years that took on Spider-Man.
It's like it's kind of a collision of a lot of stuff like that. Like all my favorite artists is kind of how I decided how big I wanted the eyes to be, and how I wanted this person to, what I want them to look like, how I want them to act like. It's just like that. You're right there, though. It's just a big crash, of everything that I've always really captured, like from reading the comics, that really got me, and I was like, that's really cool.
Right.
And so it's just all that thrown into one big series.
Now you're drawing from the comics, as you mentioned. What do you think? What issues do you think you're drawing from? And more specifically, can you kind of pinpoint to each part of your film?
Well, I don't know, because I've read so many, and I have pretty much all but I can't really give out numbers of issues, but I can give out like little eras. More like obviously the first one is all old school stuff. It's like all the John Romita, like the Gwen Stacy storyline.
That comes across, by the way, very, very, very well in the film.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I describe your take as kind of like a Sam Raimi meets Stanley and Ditko.
Nice.
That's how I would describe your film.
Great.
And it's not a bad thing by any matter of means, trust me.
Yeah, because even when I always liked reading his thoughts, because it seems like in most Spidey comics, if you take out Peter Parker's thoughts, there wouldn't be that much talking. There'd be like, oh, hey, Betty, like at the Bugle, or hey, MJ, or, what he says when he's fighting. But then most of it's a lot of thought bubbles. So that's why I wanted to make sure to have his thoughts going pretty consistently.
Right.
Because that's just how he is. It seems like he thinks a lot more than he actually says, like, because he's alone most of the time.
He's deep like his uncle, man.
Yeah.
He gets to his alone time. He's thinking about things. He's like, the goofy little thoughts, like I have a crush on MJ or Gwen or whatever. But at the same time, it's like I was given this extraordinary gift, and what am I going to do? I'm just this kid.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do with this? And your movie definitely takes on that whole boyhood spirit he still had, and when he was gaining his powers, and then eventually. He gets his powers, and he almost immediately at that point becomes a man.
Yeah.
Because he understands he has a gift. If you're a punk 15, 16-year-old kid, you have superpowers, not everybody's going to be as squeaky clean as Peter Parker is.
Yeah. You're
going to get the motherfuckers that are going to go out there and commit crimes and steal shit and then kill people. It's like heroes. You're going to get the good, you're going to get the bad. Mm-hmm. You hand out the superpowers, you're going to get the good and the bad. He was raised with nothing but the best morals and the most attention by May and Ben Parker. So that all comes across like this guy's he's genuinely a good guy, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He really is. If you break it down, he's just a very good guy. He can be a wise ass, but so can we all,
Yeah.
If you're fighting for your life with some costume maniac and you're making jokes, God bless you. I'd probably be shitting myself. But that's the whole charm of Spider-Man. He's just like a normal dude,
I'm trying to think of other issue stuff. The Kraven's Last Hunt storyline, that's going to be a film.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Venom storyline, when basically the whole Eddie Brock story and how he, he blames Spider-Man for all his crap that's gone on with him in life because of the whole Sin Eater thing. That's all there.
You're throwing Carnage in there too, right?
Yeah, Carnage is in there. Hobgoblin, Doc Ock, Electro. And then there's certain things like, this whole Sinister Six era, like when Eric Larson was drawing Spider-Man a long time ago.
Yeah, right after
I really like that stuff. He's like one of my favorite artists, even though it's so long ago and there's so much new advanced things. It's just like the way he did it, everything is just awesome.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a big influence for my Sinister Six stuff. Issues. Because some villain stuff, like let's say, I'll give away, like say for Electro, the way I bring in Electro, I don't necessarily do a big story on him because I really like Electro, but I'd always saw him as kind of like a side villain. There's never been too many huge stories on him.
Right.
Which there probably could be something cool, but there hasn't been. Honestly, I think like on the Spider-Man 1990 series, there was a short, like 3-issue thing about just him. Mm-hmm. But basically, I kind of took the comic route of that, where Spider-Man, he goes to a warehouse and he's arguing with a cop, basically, because they had Electro into the warehouse, and the cop and Spidey, you really get the feel for Spidey and the cop, they're kind of button heads, and Spidey's being a smart ass, and the cop's not liking him, But Electro's out. He's inside the warehouse looking at Spidey and this cop argue from the inside of his warehouse, just like, oh no, Spider-Man, like, I'm not letting him take me down again. Just to give the idea of, okay, this is normal. Spider-Man fights this guy, he locks him up, he fights him, he locks him up. So then I didn't have to do a whole huge movie on like Electro's origin and this and that. It's just something to give the idea, okay, Spidey deals with this guy normally.
Right.
So I tackled some things like that. So that's not from actual issues, but it's more like an overall. I did a lot of overall type things for certain villains, so I can have them in there and have their part be really memorable and pretty cool. But I just slip it in kind of quick, to where it's not the main part of the movie, but it is something that's kind of neat. That gets
some continuity. It exists. And you're giving acknowledgement to that.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I think that's as far as I can really go 2D without looking at like all my sheets of notes and my project files and stuff, as far as like issues and stuff like that. I don't have none stuff in front of me right now.
You don't do like any of the current stuff like
over the years we've all like absorbed a lot of Spider-Man material, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Between the three of us, I'm sure it'll be like ridiculous.
You do the whole Mephisto coming along and stealing the love for Peter Parker there and Mary Jane, or you don't go that far?
No, I don't go that far. I think the farthest I go is basically, I guess you could sum up the whole movie between Spidey or Peter Parker and Mary Jane, him dealing with the powers and the loss of Uncle Ben and Gwen, and then it's basically just from the beginning fight when you see the Sinister Six and all these dudes fighting him, and then it goes to the beginning. The whole series pretty much based on him kind of collecting villains, and then basically the Sinister Six forming. So it's like the beginning's kind of like a, wow, what's going to happen, when it's kind of the end, in a way. And then like it goes as far as them forming and kind of coming together, but that's pretty much I don't go too far as like you said. But I do mention some things like Superhuman Registration Act, stuff like that. You know, I think that stuff's really cool, and it deserves a little mention, like in a fan film or just anywhere, because it's kind of neat.
So I want to get kind of back to like the bare bones again. The casting.
Okay.
Did you go out like on a Craigslist looking for people? Did you say my friend looks like Harry Osborn or whatever? Like how did you find most of your stars in the film?
I used everything. I used Craigslist. I signed up on like actual actor search websites just to look at faces daily for a couple hours.
Right.
I'm a personal trainer, so I used clients that I might have seen that I had, or just people at the gym in general.
Now, how do you approach someone at the gym? Now, okay, some guy's working out.
Well, I got a perfect example of Eddie Brock. The guy I get for Eddie Brock, he's a big, burly guy. He looks like Eddie Brock in the comics. He's probably around, I don't know how old he is exactly. He's probably like in his high, like maybe 38 years old, 40. So he's like, he doesn't want to hear something like this. He's just like a guy, He's a dude in a gym pumping iron.
Yeah, right.
So I go right up to him. I wouldn't care. It's just like, I go for it. It's like, this is my passion. This is what I'm doing. If he doesn't like it, I'll find someone else next. So I went right up to him. Hey, man, have you ever been in a movie? He just looks at me like he's going to sock me, He's going to just break me in half over his knee. And but I was still working, like I'm with a client, and I just figured, what if I don't see him for a couple weeks? This is my chance, So I'm like, hey, man, you ever been in a movie? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'll be right back, because I had to go get back with my client. So now he's left with this thought, okay, what's this guy talking about? And then he told me later on, getting back to the story, I went back to him. So anyway, back to that movie idea. And he's like, what are you talking about? Be right back. Had to go back with my client. Went back later on. Yeah, and then he's just like, I was all, so what do you think? You down? Because I was very blunt, and I guess I didn't explain it too much. I'm like, no, I'm doing a Spider-Man movie. He's like, what, is this like a jokey thing for YouTube or something? Like, is it going to make me look stupid? I was like, no, dude, you're going to be Eddie Brock that becomes them. Like, you're going to be a badass in this thing. And then he was just kind of like, it just doesn't come around. I mean, I live in Bakersfield, California. People don't make movies. He told me he thought I was trying to get together like a gay porn.
Right.
And I was rolling, He still laughs at that story today. He's a great guy. I mean, it's just kind of weird, if some guy comes up, you want to be in a movie? Be right back. And he just takes off. It's like, what the hell is with this guy? And, but yeah, and then it worked out with him, but
it didn't help that you were rubbing his thigh when you were asking him.
I was just trying to sweeten the deal, though. But, yeah, I see someone in a restaurant, anywhere, I had no shame in my game. I would tell them what I was doing. I'd let them know. Most people get flattered if I'm just like, honestly, you look like the exact vision of what I want to match with this character. Would you be interested? It probably would take too much time. You don't have to memorize too many lines. I mean, I would give you the stuff ahead of time if you want. Like, whatever we got to do. Even if you give me an hour, I can get your stuff maybe done. If it was like a small thing, and people went for it,
Now, with that said, let me put you on the spot, Roger. With that said, okay, and follow me here. Okay, you're married.
Yes.
Good answer. The girl that played Mary Jane is not your wife.
No, it's my brother's girlfriend.
Correct answer. Do you and Mary Jane kiss in any of the films?
No.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
sorry, buddy.
We would have tagged you a lucky bastard.
Yeah, that's my brother's girlfriend.
Yeah, but it's for the film.
I know.
It's art, baby. It's art.
But,
baby, yeah.
I mean, I had to find creative ways around all that, but I think I pulled it off pretty good. Like, in the second film, that's when Mary Jane and Peter Parker reconnect, and it gives ideas that our relationship is blossoming and things are happening, and I mean, you get the picture. You can tell they're not just friends, you know?
I mean, knew what was going on, you know? Like,
yeah.
I guess you could have done like a really tight shot of her, and you said it was your brother's girlfriend, right?
Yeah, I was going to do a stunt double.
Yeah.
Like where it looks like I'm going in for a kiss and have my brother in the Spidey suit back his head kiss before he hops out the window.
Oh, you just set a stunt boobs for fondling, you know?
I was honestly going to do that, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, it just...
You get Meatloaf to come out with his bitch tits.
He's got them dick bundles. That's sick.
These are real tits, feel them. We, of course, know that from Fight Club, right?
Yeah.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
You got it. What was his name? Bob, I think it was.
I forget.
Bitch tits. We're going to have Spidey versus Bob, you know. It's going to be in the next fan film. It's going to be a showdown. Fuck Batman versus Predator. We got Bob versus Spidey. No.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Jonah. We got a girl out there who was assaulted last night by 3 muggers. She says rescued by a man spider.
Man spider?
Apparently happened last night. Says he moved like lightning. He shot webs from his wrist.
Damn it, what's wrong with this city? It's not bad enough we have to deal with those registered vigilante freaks like that Stretchy guy or that Rockman thing.
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, whatever. I don't trust any of them. They're all a bunch of terrorists, criminals. They're bringing danger to the city.
All right, I'll send her out.
Hey, whoa! Are you crazy? There's a Spider-Man loose in the city. I'm not going to let the Globe get this one.
This concludes our first part interview with Mr. Roger King. Join us again for part 2. We'll see you next time on the Fan Film Podcast. Peace.